period. If, for example, in Revelation 11, go to Revelation 11, we have a wilderness there. Verse 3, it says, "And I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth." How long is 1,260 days? 1260. Okay, so there's 2 witnesses going to prophesy for 1,260 years, and in verse 7, speaking of these 2 witnesses, and who are the 2 witnesses by application in here? Who is it that has in the scriptures, that has the power to turn the water to blood? And who is it that can smote the earth with plagues as often as he will? Moses. But who is it that can shut the heaven that it rain not? Elijah. So these 2 witnesses at one level are Moses and Elijah. But my sister Cheryl over here, she knows what Sister White says in the Great Controversy. Who are the 2 witnesses here other than Elijah and Moses? They're the Old and the New Testament. Okay, and this understanding of these 2 witnesses comes from Zechariah chapter 4, where there are 2 witnesses. And who are the 2 witnesses in Zechariah chapter 4? Go to Zechariah chapter 4. Maybe you're not familiar with this because it's the 2 pipes. The 2 pipes? Okay, but let's look a little bit closer. Zechariah chapter 4. The 2 anointed ones. Okay, the 2 anointed ones. What verse do you see that in? You just know it. Okay, the 2 olive trees in verse 11 says, "Then I answered and I said to him, what are the 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick and upon the left side thereof?" And in verse 14 it says, "These are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth." So Sister White, talking about 2 witnesses in Revelation 11, says it's the Old and New Testament. So in the time of Zechariah, can these 2 anointed ones for Zechariah be the Old and New Testament? New Testament didn't exist. So who were the 2 anointed ones in the time of Zechariah? The law and the prophets. Who is the symbol of, who wrote the law? Moses. Who's the symbol of the prophets? Elijah. Okay, you follow? These are the 2 prophets in Revelation 11. It's Moses and Elijah. And in Revelation 11, the 2 witnesses are the Old and New Testament. But here at the end of the world, who are the 2 witnesses? The Bible and the Spirit of prophecy. Okay, so depending on what period of time that you're going to apply this, go back to Revelation 11. Sister White in the Great Controversy, when she's commenting on Revelation 11, verse 7, she quotes this verse, but she adds in brackets 2 words. In verse 7 it says, and when they shall have finished, then she puts in brackets, are finishing. She's making sure that it isn't to be understood as a point in time, but it's a period of time as the 2 witnesses are finishing their testimony. And how long are they going to give their testimony for? 1,260 years. So they're giving their testimony during a wilderness time period, yes, because that's a 1260. And then in the rest of verse 7, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and shall kill them, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And the people of and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3.5 days. At the end of the 1260, they're going to get killed when they're finishing their testimony, but there's 3.5 days marked at the end when they're dead. Okay, and what is 3.5 days? It's 1260. Okay, so this period of time at the end of this 1260 is symbolized by a 1260. Okay, so what I'm wanting you to see